Hey guys, how's it going? Quick video for you today. I'm going to give you a few pointers on the January Valentine's box. I'm not going to be doing a full tutorial on it. I actually have an amazing lady that's filming a full tutorial on that box. And as soon as she's got that done, we'll be posting that on all of our social media as well as our website and our YouTube channel. So you guys will get to see a full tutorial of that coming soon. But I did have a couple questions on the instructions for those kits. So I felt like I needed to post a video just to kind of clarify a few things up, especially if you are brand new to Poppy's Hobbies. So here we go. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about your gnome. And this is how he comes. First thing I want to mention, we're going to slide this off to the side. It's labeled front on your kit, and the reason we did that is because when we manufactured him to be angled slightly leaning back, and the reason is once you get all of these pieces glued to the front of him, he's a little front heavy and otherwise would have had a tendency to tip over. So he angles back just slightly so he stands on his own without falling over. So that's the first thing to note with this kit. The second thing is, let's talk about painting him real quick. So you're going to be Mod Podging his hat and his heart. And so what you're going to want to be doing is step one is to trace those pieces, and his beard, you're going to be Mod Podging his beard as well. You're going to be tracing those pieces onto your cardstock here. So we'll set the other little pieces to the side for a second. So the easiest way to do this, so you make sure that you don't get your fronts and backs confused and end up cutting your paper the wrong way, is to, once you've got it on there, so you make sure the curve of his hat is going the right way, I like to put a small X, make sure you guys can see those. I like to put a small X because that tells me that's the front side. So what you do is, then you take your cardstock and you put your cardstock face down. Then you're going to take these pieces that you're going to be Mod Podging face down on your cardstock. And then you'll trace them out that way. And then you can set those to the side. The next step is going to be painting. Now to paint your gnome, how I painted my display here is I painted the top half white and I painted his body red. On the back, I just kind of went in a straight line with my sponge tip and did that. If it's easier for you to paint the whole back one color, feel free, because it's the back side. It's not really going to affect much in your design. So whatever makes it simpler for you. And then for the pieces you're Mod Podging, it's really only necessary to paint your sides because that's the only part that's going to be showing. Because your front side is going to have Mod Podge and your back is going to be glued to the front of your gnome. So you don't really need to paint the back of these pieces, just the sides only. For your two little hands and your nose, you can paint the sides and the front, and it's not really going to matter which side is the front and which side is the back. So that's how you paint those. Get them all painted, set them to the side. While your paint is drying, then you can cut these pieces out. And we do that just to give you something to do while you're waiting for your paint to dry. If you want to trace them out and cut them at that point and then paint, feel free. That way it keeps your craft going and it gives you a little bit of busy work to do while you're waiting for your paint to dry. And then once your paint's dry, you're going to glue him all together and he will be good to go. So that's a real quick recap of how to, oops, and I just put his hat on backwards, of how to assemble your gnome. So we'll set him to the side. Next, let's talk about your wooden beads, your bead garland that came in your kit. So we included some dowels for you to help paint your beads because it makes it a little easier to paint. So I recommend you start by painting the bottom of your bead first, and then you're going to go along the top. And I found to help smooth that paint out, because you don't want the paint on there too thick and too chunky, is as you're painting, you'll paint the bottom and then you can kind of smooth it down and just keep working the paint down as you go and just keep smoothing around. Once your paint's dry, you've got your box here, and these skewers, will tuck right inside your box. Some you have to kind of work a little bit, and some just barely sit right in there. But then you can use that as a drying rack to dry your beads. Once your first batch is done, slide them off into your box, they don't roll away, and go ahead and start on your next batch. Once you get all of your beads painted and they are done, then you can take your twine and you'll start feeding it through to create your garland once all your beads are painted. Okay, next let's talk about the tassel part of the garland, because I think that is the trickiest part of this whole kit. Okay, so take your 3-yard piece that I've kind of wrapped up in a ball here, and you're going to wrap that all the way around your tassel template. Okay, so once you've got that on there, the next step is you're going to take the tail piece of your garland here, and you want to feed that through. And you're going to tie a double knot to attach your garland to the top of your tassel. And it's much easier to tie this when you don't have a camera in between you and the garland. Okay, there you go. So tie the tail of your garland to the top part of your tassel. Then your instructions call for you to cut a short piece of your twine, and that is to tie the top piece of your tassel. So what you can do is you can kind of slide those over to one side to make it easier. And this little hole right here, you're going to feed that twine piece through. And then you're going to come around the back of it. You can slide those over again if you need to. So you can feed it back through that little hole that's cut there for you. Now, for my display, and what I recommended is I recommended winding that around several times. But for the simplicity of this video, I'm just going to do it once and tie it off. But how many times you choose to wrap around is up to you and how long of a piece you cut there. So then you're just going to go ahead and tie it nice and secure. Oops. Okay, so now you've got your garland piece here tied to the top of your tassel. You've got your tassel tied there. So now you're going to remove your tassel from your little template here. So take a nice pair of scissors, and I should have grabbed my fabric scissors for this. You're going to cut the bottoms there and slide this bad boy over a little bit. Cut your template right there on that little piece. It slides right out. And then you want to trim your tassel pieces so they're all one length. Again, use better scissors than these. And you can trim. If you've wrapped it around a bunch, you're not going to have as much length here as I have. Okay, and there is your tassel. You can even trim that piece if you want a little bit. Don't trim it too tight or too close. Then, now you've got your tassel on the bottom of your wood garland. Hey guys, okay, I hope they answered some of your questions. That was not meant to be a full tutorial, just a walkthrough of the instructions and to help see it visually might help make it make a little more sense. If you have any more questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Post your comments below, message us on social media. You can also go to our website and hit the chat now button. And guys, that comes right to my cell phone. Now, I don't always have the chat on. I do have set chat hours where I'm available. There are some times where I do need a little bit of family time and time when I'm out working in the shop and I've got heavy machinery running, I can't always hear it. But I do get to those as quickly as possible. So if you have any more questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. We also have our Poppy's Hobbies Makers group. Join it. The women in there are absolutely the most amazing group of women I've ever worked with in my life, and I know that any of them would be more than happy to answer any questions you guys have. So join our makers group, post projects. We love seeing your guys' finished kits. I absolutely love it. Yeah, watch for the tutorial coming up. I have an amazing, I love this girl. She's one of my best friends, and she has been doing Poppy's Hobbies kits. She actually started with the Valentine's kit, I think 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know. Kelly, you'll have to chime in and tell me how long it's been. It's been a while. This is our little friend anniversary there. So she will be putting together an amazing tutorial for you guys, so watch for that. I love her. It'll be a great video. And if you have any more questions, please let me know. I love you guys. I love seeing your crafts when you're done. So yeah, post them, join the group. Don't hesitate to ask questions ever. I love you guys and have an amazing time crafting. Bye.